Stakeholders across various sectors of big, medium, and small enterprises have met with the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission to discuss key issues for Nigeria and what more needs to be done. Here are some excerpts from that engagement held in the commercial capital, Lagos.
One of the things that strikes me more is from the angle of what's the alignment between the NIPC initiatives and things around the Ministry of Interior in terms of the immigration service, because when you're talking about FDI, you're also talking about inflow of foreign expertise, and there needs to be some form of alignment. I don't know if that has been duly considered in the initiative that is coming up, so that we can also have your views on that. Secondly, on the master plan, talked about sectorial investment requirements, and I'm actually looking at it from the point of view of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement and the area. I know Nigeria, after about 5 years, now have a coordinating person in the person of Olusegun Awolowo to be coordinating that.
The MSME sector, what exactly do you have in mind when you talk about a strategy for the investment coordination framework? Because we are interested in knowing what exactly you have for us, because when I looked at all that you talked about, the MSME sector was just mentioned in passing. And I mean, there are big guns here that we know we have to deal with, but it's very important in any economy that the MSME sector are taken into consideration. So I'd like to know what exactly what plans you have for them.
I want to use this opportunity to congratulate the ES on her appointment. And of course, the BOA Group has we have a subsisting relationship, very cordial, with NIPC. And I pray and I hope that relationship will be continued. She's starting off on a very good note, and I know that definitely, your tenure is going to be very successful.
This council aims, or we aim to achieve with this council, is to align some national development plans, which is the different blueprints they have, whether it's sectoral, whatever it is that is within that climate reform, to also with national development plans. So what we're doing at the national level, just we asked that there should be some alignment, some synergy, so that we're not all working across purposes. And good thing, NIPC has a very good working relationship with the Governors Forum. While we have not put up the Governors Forum as one of the stakeholders we're going to engage with before the election, it's because we intend to do that after the election. By then, of course, winners would have emerged, and all of that would happen, and then we intend to have a big meeting, a roundtable meeting with the outgoing and the incoming, and even the incumbents that are still staying back, to also engage them along these kinds of matters you're speaking and talking about today, just so that we have one investment entity as a country. Because the issue is, like some states are better than others in certain aspects. But an investor out there is not bothered about whether Yobe State is the best or whether Enugu is the best. They're looking at an entity called Nigeria. So it's to ensure there's synergy and we're all working together. And there's going to be peer review, of course, which, of course, we know the Governors Forum tries to do that. We want to create that awareness that we should look at that peer review within the context of investment as an entity. And it's not just about investors coming, it's even investors within the country. But how do we ensure that generally investors have a very, a very good experience being investors in Nigeria? Because if you see, we said one of the legal functions of NIPC is to assist incoming and existing investors. So we are not all about just promoting investments, trying to get investments in here. We're trying to ensure even the investors within the life cycle of the activity as investors in the Nigerian economy are having a very worthwhile experience. So it's all a gamut of activity that we are hoping to ensure it does happen. And what do we plan for Nigeria to avoid or to prevent Nigeria from being a dumping ground? It's definitely one of the things we're really looking at to ensure this does not happen. And part of it is where we're strengthening the institution itself, which is NIPC, to ensure it's able to effectively have impact in the Nigerian ecosystem and to ensure we show up our aftercare service to investors. We should do more for investors. We're working towards that. We don't want investors to resort to self-help, where when you have a challenge here or challenge there, you find yourselves running to this agency or that agency or trying to do it by yourselves. Because the law mandates NIPC to assist investors, it also mandates NIPC to be the liaison between investors and MDAs. So part of it is to ensure we activate that more effectively. And in doing that, then Nigeria would take a step further in being a more, encouraging destination for investors. But it's not just about even all of that, it's to ensure other things that are necessary for investments like power and so many other things are also being sorted. And that's where the framework would facilitate us knowing what role is Ministry of Power, for example, playing in this entire ecosystem. And the MOE would say these are the exact things we have to relate with, power-wise, investment-wise, to ensure it's sorted. It's going to look at, okay, what role is Ministry of Labor, for example, playing in the investment ecosystem? What role is Nexim Bank, for example, playing in the investment? So it's to look at, identify all the players in that ecosystem and each one having an MOU and what needs to get done. But it won't only stop at the NIPC level, because you know there's a big entire ecosystem that we need to get the presidency, in fact the president, involved, because the president that is the chief investment promoter of the nation. So a lot of it has to also sit within the presidency, and I'm happy to say that the Nigerian president has said whatever he needs to do before he leaves in May, he will do it to ensure he deepens the ecosystem and of course passes the baton to whoever is going to take over from him. So it's quite exciting to know that investment promotion or investment in Nigeria is going to get as much help to make life easier for investors within the circumstances we all find ourselves, to ensure that things are deepened. And Segun Awolowo's coming as head of Africa Continental is a welcome development, because I do know that even way back, my first outing in NIPC had signed an MOU with in the Exports Promotion Council. And the essence of that was to ensure that we look at the strategies of trying to deepen the non-oil export sector and see what NIPC would do to show up investments into those sectors. So immediately I got his announcement, and the first discussion we had, I said to Segun, we need to sign an MOU with Africa Continental, your committee. And the good thing, NIPC is also a member of the committee. So if you do, the action committees to ensure whatever Nigeria needs to do to be impactful, to ensure that it also plays effectively within the ecosystem that Africa has now become.